Hi. So we're going to spend the next few days in dealing with, for me, what the game of golf is about. And that is everything that's involved in pre-shot routine and getting us to that place where we let go. So the purpose pre-shot routine to give us the best opportunity to fully let go and not try when we actually hit the shot. So when I first get to my ball, the first decision I need to make is where I want to hit my next shot specifically. So let's just give you a few parameters to that. Let's make it easy in the first place and just talk about the green. So let's say we're in that area that we have a club that for the most part we can reach that green, and for the most part we've got a reasonably high percentage of hitting it. So I remember one of the first books I ever read was Golf My Way by Nicklaus. And despite what anybody tells you, Nicklaus is still the world's ever greatest golfer. He is the best because he's got more majors. If we're going to measure it by majors and then in actual fact in second places and first places in tournaments, he's way there the highest performer. And in his book Golf My Way, he says that he only ever aims at the middle of the green. So we have a green here. I'm going to go out to the surrounding areas then. We have a green and the pin is over to the right hand side, and Nicklaus is saying himself that he only ever aimed at the centre of that green. Now whether this is true or not, who knows, but aiming at that centre is for most of us the place that we should be thinking of aiming in the first place. He said one other interesting thing in Golf My Way, which is very much within this pre-shot routine idea, in that whatever shot he was hitting on the practice area or on the golf course, he gave it the same amount of effort, and I doubt whether any of us could say the same. So the first idea is that we want to aim at the centre of every green. Now, there probably is a distance where this becomes the truth, probably something like, I don't know, probably 30 yards out. Otherwise, we might start looking at borers of green and landing areas. But for the moment, the centre of the green is our target. However, the centre of this green can change. So we're into this area where we're choosing where we want to go. Now, on this particular hole, let's just say we've got a 7-iron in. So we're mostly about, let's say, between 130 and 160 is the variance of that for most people. So we've got this green and the pin is over here, but there's a lake here. There's quite a difficult deep sand there with the pin cut tight. Over here we've got some trees, and then we've got this big massive area of fairway. Now I'm going to show you a little bit later on a more accurate, specific way of doing this, but just as we look at this picture, we can see that for the most part we want to avoid this area. So if we look at this area, okay, and then the fact that the centre of this safe area is about here, and we put the size of the green on that spot, we can see that if we leaked it a bit right, it would be getting onto the front edge of the green. If we leaked it left, it's going to be on the fairway. Leaked it right, it's going to be on the fairway. Left it short, we're going to be on the fairway. And the only decision we've got to make now is how much we risk this going in there before this comes into risk, that comes into risk, and that comes into risk. And to some degree that, where by being long, we're going to short side us on the pin. So these are some of the decisions that's going to make it, that's going to decide where your centre of your green is going to be. Now there may be some other constituent factors in this. In other words, if this is the 18th hole on the last green and you've got to hit it and get birdie from that distance, you may, and the rewards are spectacular, then you may want to shift that a little bit closer to give you a putt. But in my view, you would still never go for that pin, because the chances are, as McIlroy does 1,000 times, you get yourself out of contention very, very quickly. Whereas here, you're still in contention. You can still hole your putt and you can still hole your chip. So that's our first introduction to pre-shot routine, in all of the fun that you can have in deciding where your pinprick is going to be. Now I'm going to give you another addition to this tomorrow, which I call the parachute method. I look forward to delivering that tomorrow. In the meantime, please stay safe.